Let's not die. Let's not even meddle into that fact for a while. Let us go further into the nitty-gritty of this case, my lord. One thing we cannot separate from marriage in our society today is domestic violence. Irrespective of how big or small it is, two lover beds, husband and wife, must have issues. And going further, my lord, you as a person sitting on that exalted seat, my lord, you also have your spouse, and I'm sure you have had some issues with him or her at a point in time. It is barbaric. It is unfounded. It is something I cannot wrap my heads around, and I think the court here cannot wrap their heads around it, that my client can. I don't want to use that word because it is even barbaric. Can unalive her husband, someone they have been together through thick and thorns. They started their life together, according to my client here. When the husband doesn't have anything, they've been together. But here, my learned colleague is trying to shift the blame. Is this blame game? I want to tell this court of law to actually not look at the direction of this my soft, gentle-souled client, because she can't do that. And based on the fact that there are issues going on in marriage, there will be issues. They will fight, and this is not the first fight. Even according to a witness here named Prime Boy, he said he has been to there and they always have issues. If they have been having issues every day, would the husband still be alive today if every issues would always lead to death? My lord, it is unfounded and baseless that my client, my learned colleague here can accuse my client wrongly. And to even say it, he said he also lay emphasis on it that the wife, my client, wanted to leave the car. That is not an act of someone who would, at the end of the day, who has some things going on, some shenanigans going on in her heart to unalive the husband. If she wanted to unalive the husband, she wouldn't have said, "I want to leave the car." I think this is a case of trying to just meddle and trample on woman rights here. Is it because my client is a female counterpart? Are you trying to put this on her just because she's a female? No, we shouldn't do that. Our law is totally against it. I want the honorable court here to put more intelligence into this case, and you will realize that there are other things going on underneath, which one of them is to try to frame my client here. They are just trying to frame my client. She is as innocent as anything here. And then my learned colleague has said we can also accuse my client of negligence. What is negligence, my lord? Negligence is purposefully leaving someone to be hurt. And in this case, it has been stated that the deceased never wanted to visit a hospital. Are we also saying that my client should have forcefully taken the deceased to a court against his will? If you ask me, my lord, that is an offense on its own and punishable under Nigerian Constitution. Are you saying she is supposed to take the deceased to a hospital against the deceased will? The deceased have said, "I don't want to visit a hospital. Don't take me to a hospital," according to the witness here, according to what my client have substantiated. My lord, sir, my client cannot be held responsible for negligence because it is the will of the deceased not to visit the hospital. I think that is sealed. Going further, my lord, Mrs. Wunmi Cynthia Aloba is a peaceful and law-abiding citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And in this case, she has no case to answer. because she did not in any way cause harm to the deceased? Or was there an evidence of she poisoning the deceased? According to the toxicology, there was no place stated that the deceased was poisoned. Was the deceased strangled? There was no claim to that. There was no evidence to that he was strangled. My lord, why are we beating around the bush? Why are we trying to just trample and overflog this issue? We are trampling on human rights here, which I want this court of law to take very important. You must take women's rights very important. Because my client here is the wife, does that have to say she must bend the will of her husband? Capital no, my lord. Capital no. My learned colleague has also said that the wife can always talk, they can say what happened and all. She has said all he knows. She said when it was getting out of hand, they rushed.
He has said, I wasn't there. I was cooking. I don't know. Now, as a wife, Cynthia has failed to show a duty of care to her husband. And as a result, by the time Mobad was taken to medical attention, he was declared dead on arrival. So, staying on the facts of law, I want to say that Cynthia was negligent and caused the death of her husband because of her inaction.
My lord, I feel this court has entertained another baseless accusation, which is still bordering around negligence. My lord, my learned colleague here has failed to still understand that it is duty of care for a wife to cook, for a wife to find what the husband will eat. My client here is not a medical personnel. My client here is not a nurse nor a doctor. Is my learned colleague here trying to say that my client should be where they are probably giving the husband injection and not cooking for the husband, which will make the injection work more?
Objection, my lord.
Objection overruled, my learned colleague. This is baseless. You are saying negligence, my learned colleague. Negligence is when you leave things undone that are supposed to be done. Are you saying, if you are saying negligence and duty of care, it is duty of care to give food to your husband. She is not the nurse. She is not the medical personnel in this case. She can get in a life-threatening situation. The wife should cook for the husband. Are you saying the husband should take injection on an empty stomach? Let us be honest with ourselves, my learned colleague, and not make an innocent go through these things you are making my clients go through. It is uncalled for. I respect the Nigerian Constitution so well, and my clients here respect the Nigerian Constitution and law so much that anyone must not kill another person. And in this case, my client have not killed or unalived her husband. The only thing my client has done here was to make sure the husband is hale and healthy by cooking for the husband. And that is the evidence to that. Everyone have said, even my client said, I was in the kitchen trying to cook food for my husband. How can someone in the kitchen cooking food for the husband, and can you be at two places at a time? She is in the kitchen trying to cook. How come she is also in the room stabbing the husband? Let us be devoid of emotions here, my lord. Let us be devoid of emotions and look at this thing straight in the eye. My lord, as a suggestion to this honorable court, anyone that have accused my client of negligence again should be put behind the bars. I submit.
Listen, I can't go on like this anymore. Honestly, I'm cracking up because...
You need to crack up. You won't crack up in the court of law. Will you crack up in the court of law?
I'm cracking up in the... Yeah.
I'm just more concerned about giving hope to the other team. You know, because if we flog this thing further, we'll be giving them clues.
Right.
You know, we'll be giving them clues. But of course, to me personally, aside from the fact that if there are evidence of CCTV in the house or a video capturing the moment that some bad things are happening, that is the only thing or only way to bring down this person. If Wunmi should have a competent, I'm not a lawyer, Sef. I've not gone through court or anything.
Really?
I've not been in court in my life. But, you know, as a layman like myself, if I can defend Wunmi, a competent lawyer would defend better than me.
But clearly, the system is working against this case, okay? If things were done properly and if things were done promptly, there would have been sufficient evidence to find those who are culpable. Okay, first and foremost, when this incident happened and the body was taken to the police station, the first thing the police should have done was to go back to the crime scene and cordon off that house, get everybody out of the house, do their forensic sweep, and begin to take everyone who was present in that house in for interrogation. Now, that wasn't done. That house was left open. Vital evidence had been contaminated because people were free to go in and out of that house. Okay? Immediately, the police should have interrogated everybody from those people who were with him from 72 hours from the concert to the point from when Mohbad lost his life. All of that was not done. At what point did the police see it fit to come to the house to search for evidence? At the time, most evidence has been contaminated. But even now, if they bring experts, they can still get some form of evidence. They haven't done a forensic phone test of all of those people who have their phones in their home. Their homes, to know what form of communication went on. Now, Prime Boy claimed that he had called Mohbad. He claimed that he had called Wunmi. We have no evidence of that. All we're hearing is what Prime Boy is telling us. Okay, now, if forensics has been done on all of the phones of those people who were with Mohbad or who lived with him, we would be able to fix the jigsaw puzzle, because there are a lot of pieces that are missing. And clearly at this point, we can see that there is a group who are sworn to each other not to say what has happened in that house. Because how do you have your brother and your cousin and your wife live with you in the same house, and yet none of them can say what has happened? Now, the police on their own side have failed Mohbad woefully for not doing what police should do, because all of the people who were in that house shouldn't be available to be walking around free. The people who were taking into custody was Prime Boy and Spending, who shouldn't have been in the first place, because the only crime that Spending has committed was giving the phone number, and he didn't even willfully give it to them. He used Lifestyle's phone to call the nurse. When he didn't get her, he left. Lifestyle, in the absence of Spending, now called the nurse. At that point, Spending was no longer in that house. So why would Spending be held accountable for calling the nurse? Because he didn't give her instructions. He didn't even get to speak to her. So now, why is also Prime Boy being accused for a fight where there is no evidence? They've come up with several excuses or leads for what could have killed Mohbad. The first announcement was that he had an ear infection. Then from an ear infection, it went to a fight with Prime Boy. And then from there, it went to an Obe Mackinger. So you can see that there's a constant effort to change their script. Now, Prime Boy has finally spoken to say that Mohbad's argument with his wife I'll go back again. When a lot of these young boys were speaking, they kept using the word fight, fight, fight. And on so many occasions, I had to tell the host or different people to separate this, change the word. The people are using fight to describe a serious argument. So when we hear them use the word fight, they're not fighting, they're having heated arguments. So that could have misconstrued the argument between Mobad and Prime Boy. Mobad telling him to get out of the car, get out of the car. That's not a fight. That's him just aggressively telling him to leave the car. So if there's no proof of a broken window, there's no photographs showing a fight, how do you prove that there was a fight? Again, if Prime Boy has now come to say that Mobad was arguing with his wife about personal issues, which also involved the paternity of his child, that in itself is a red flag. And that in itself confirms why Cynthia has refused to do a DNA. If that child belonged to Mobad, yes, she could resist for a couple of months to prove a point, but nearly 9 months, even following a court order, and she's still dilly-dallying, then that's a red flag there. There's been so many other things to show that that child possibly may not be Mobad's child. 1, the calculation of her pregnancy. 2, the connection that she has with you-know-who. 3, there's been too many Chinese whispers. Chinese whispers is when people are going about pointing fingers about somebody. There is nothing to prove that it's true, but there are too many people talking about it. When too many people are saying something, then there is no smoke without fire. If Cynthia truly believes that this child is Mobad's child, all she needs to do is a simple consent for that child to be tested to prove that he is indeed Mobad's son. Not to do that. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, everyone's auntie. I really appreciate your take on this issue, and it has been insightful for you. Well, I don't want to go off the topic which the host of this platform has directed. He started this devil's advocate, and we have been going back and front since. Okay. But I think you backed out on that little wiggy of talking. Trying to have a conversation, reasonable conversation, logical conversation on what the justice system might look like.
Yeah.
And I think I also have many other commenters and people that are on this platform, and I feel like we should still go on with what the host said we should. Sure. I feel if there is anyone on this platform now that you feel like you can take any side. I'm a freelancer who can take any person as my client and defend the person. So what you just do is to say, in this case of so I want to defend so person, and I will defend the other person. And that is what the host wanted, actually. So, Precious, Princey, Golden Seal, JCCJ, do you think we should try something? And you can pick anybody, Baba, you can just about this case, and that person you are leaving to the just name anybody. I will take the opposition.
My lord, there are words.
I'm your learned colleague. I'm your learned colleague. The commenters are the Lord. They are the judge.
Okay, the commenters. I put it to you that ask me that word.
I'm with you, boss.
Ask me that word now.
Who are you representing? Just say the police?
He's representing the public. That have brought the case of the police to the court of law. And I am the defense of the police.
I don't know. Someone is muting me.
Is someone muting you?
Yeah, I don't know. Paparano, is that you?
Who is muting people now?
Maybe it's network.
I don't know. Somebody muted me too.
It can't be anybody. It's network.
Who is the moderator muting people?
Moving on. You have brought a case against the police, the Nigerian police force, that they have not done the right. I take exception of the word you use that they've done a bad job. No, I would therefore correct that word. I withdraw that statement on your behalf that they have not done enough job. My lord, the case of the police in this case, in this matter, should not be overflogged anyways. We have good and working Nigerian police who are following due diligence and human rights. My little colleague here have said the police are not doing their job to the latter. But I want to remind this honorable court that it was the police that detected that there was no CCTV in the house. It was the police that detected...
Objection. Objection, Wells.
Objection sustained.
Objection, Wells.
Sustained.
Okay. Now, my lord, that is not presentable enough for my co-colleague to say the police actually do their work diligently. That is not true. They only acted according to what they've been told by the wife of the deceased, and that is not true. The police did not even go to the house to do their findings. No, they didn't do that. They only acted on what they've been told. When the incident happened, the late RI0US, his father said when he got to the house, the duvet was soaked with full of blood. And after then, the police did not even bother to go to the house to do the thorough investigation about what the man said that speak about. They didn't do that. No. There are so many things they need to look into. The CCTV issue was being raised as one of the TIT0Ƙ on social media because this case is on the public domain. So with the way everything is on the public domain right now, people see and they're talking about the things that they're supposed to do when necessarily. But the police are not putting their mind in those considerations of doing their investigation carefully. Up to date, my lord, as we speak now, the phone wasn't where to be found. We're still looking for the phone. Where is the phone of the late RI0US, well known as Mohbad? We can't find the phone. Are the police actually working? That is one point. The second point I wanted to look at, where is the deceased laptop? Nowhere to be found. The reason why I mentioned the laptop, we can see that there's some flash drive that is being used with the system. Probably, my clients might have a very strong evidences on that laptop. If we can get the laptop and we bring out the flash drive on that laptop, there is possibility the CCTV can be connected to that drive. But the police never try to even go to the house and do the investigation. The house people still stay there up to date as we are speaking without the house being sealed up. So what are they going to tell us that they are working? They are working on what investigation, my lord? I will appeal to this court, this honorable court, to look at those aspects that some things are still missing when they are not doing the needful. When the incident happened, the father of the deceased got to the house and he met almost 100 people standing in the house without him knowing that the son has gone. What could be the problem, my lord? My court colleagues were just trying to defend when you're supposed to defend them. That is not good enough. So I will appeal to this court to let the police to do their needful, to do the job they're supposed to do. Not defending the police, and it is obvious that most people can see that they are not doing their work the way they're supposed to be. Thank you, my lord. I rest my case now.
Thank you, thank you, my learned colleague. And my lord, as much as I agree with my learned colleague here that the police still needs to do more, I want to take exceptions to some words she have used, and I would really want her to take it back. Now, this is my point, my lord. It took more than a decade before the United States of American policing system could get the perpetrators of Tupac's death. So, in this case, pari passu, the police workings cannot be brought to the public that this is what we are doing, this is what we are doing. No, it is not done anywhere in the world. The police are on their top A game, and they are really digging deep into this case without the knowledge of the public. I hope my learned colleague here will agree with me that the police doesn't need to write in the forefront of the newspaper that this is what we are doing, this is what we are doing, as pertaining to the investigation at hand. And I hope my learned colleague will also understand that the case has not been closed. This file is still in front of the Nigerian police, and they are working tirelessly to unravel the secret beneath. So I beckon on every Nigerian, and I beckon on this honorable court, I beckon on my learned colleague to put even if a little faith, an iota of faith, into the justice system and the Nigerian police. It is not a day job, and I must agree, it is not a one-day job. It is not a one-day job. Justice will be sought, will be found in a subtle manner. It is not by initial gragra. And initial gragra in any situation, in any clan, does not bring forth good fruits. Slow and steady wins the race. My lord, I want to beseech the public to put a little faith in our system that the Nigerian police would unravel this case. And they have not said it, the work is done. They are not saying the whole thing is closed. As a matter of fact, the Nigerian police is still putting it out that if you have more evidence, bring it forth. Come and talk, bring it forth. I must say to you today, and everyone in this courtroom, that it is our duty to owe our police to ransom to work. They must work, which they are doing. And it is also our duty to put faith in them. Lastly, my lord, it is our duty to provide necessary evidence to the police to assist them render their job without any problem. At this point, I want to yield the mic to anyone who still feel like you have a case against anyone or the police at this point. I'm here to defend them. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My lord, I want to make an exemption to what my learned colleague here just stated. My lord, if you can remember very well, this case is a public case. And I also want to remind you that it is not done anywhere in the world, any part in the world, that the police will give a report based on interrogation and not investigation. Now, in this their report, called preliminary report, the police said, and I quote, that Mohbad bled profusely. Now, my lord, well many Nigerians have been asking, including I myself, from what object caused Mohbad to bleed profusely? And ever since then, my lord, the NPF have not said anything tangible so as to give us an answer to our question. My lord, please, we really want to know what causes the bleeding of Mohbad that night. And I want my learned colleague here to please give an answer if he asks.
Thank you. My lord, it will please me to inform this court of law today that, like I've reiterated earlier, that justice is a work in progress. And my learned colleague here has asked that the police should tell them how, because they said Mohbad bled profusely, and they should bring the evidence forefront that how did he bled profusely. My lord, This is why a case and an autopsy and toxicology process has been initiated. I want to bring it to the notice of this Honorable Court of Law that the result was read some days ago, that it was inconclusive because the boy was buried early. And I want to say
Objection, my lord.
objection sustained.
Objection.
Sustained.
Thank you. My lord, I have to come in here because I wasn't pleased with what my colleagues is saying. He said, from his statement, and I quote, he said, well, there's no evidences to prove the blood that they said the late singer bleed profusely. Don't forget, my lord, I have 3 or 4 witnesses that can look towards the blood bleeding profusely. The mother of the deceased saw the blood as a witness. The mother sister of the deceased saw the blood as a witness as well. Likewise, the father of the deceased as well saw the blood. Those are the witnesses, the 3 witnesses, which if we call them to this honorable court, they will testify to it. That yes, they all saw the blood. To the point that the father of the late singer said the duvet was soaked, not even stained, but it was soaked of blood. So if the 3 witnesses can be in this court, ask them the same questions, I'm very sure that they can testify to this as the witnesses. Then after then, they did not even, after then, did police go to the house and do their findings? What happened? What happened? What led to the fight in the house? Did they try to go and use those necessary things to trace the blood, to see, to do their findings in the house by saying what happened, what actually led to that much blood? No, they didn't, sir, my lord. But they just walk towards what they've been told. Is what they've been told. And up to date, another point is the house was a seed of, my lord. I know a lot of people expected that the house should be sealed off by now. But people are still living in that house, celebrating in that house, celebrating birthdays, so many things in the house. And with the day the incident happened, the late singer was placed down the staircase, not even on his bed in his house. They lay him down on the down of the staircase. My lord, is that how it should be? And the father of the deceased felt so bad that they have about 15 people living in the house with them, and nobody, my lord, nobody could say this is what happens to RI0US Aloba in that house. Nobody. And the wife of the deceased as well, when he was being asked what happened to her husband in the house, he gave like 5-6 hours in coroner inquest. He was given a chance to speak, but all he could say is he didn't give the placenta to the father. That was the reason why he's upset with her. So now we ask a question: why did you mention the placenta? Who did you give the placenta to? Those are the things that channel our energy to ask for that DNA test, because it is a motive to know what is happening and what happens to RI0US in that house on that very day. Then, till now, the DNA test hasn't proved. It was served differently later to court to come to the court and ask some question. Why don't you want to do the DNA? Up till now, the DNA has not been done. And she said she wants a justice for her husband, but she's not pushing. She doesn't have that strength. She's not pushing to get the justice for her late husband. My lord, if you permit me to play a VN for you, where the wife of the deceased said, do not give the friend of her husband any relevance, because the VN can favor her late husband tomorrow. My lord, the VN is of ground. It's one of the evidences that back up this case. With due respect, my lord. And we have other videos where some people people bullied him, and his wife knew about it. The client also said, the wife also said, the deceased also said, his wife is there, Cynthia is there. If anything happens to him, Cynthia is there in the car. We have evidences of those video, my lord. If you can permit it, this honorable court for we to place those evidences out, I will appreciate it to back up this case. Because so many things has been missing. Yes, you want to say something?
My lord, hold on. My lord, to further collaborate what my learned colleague here just said, my lord, I want to take us back to memory lane. Remember, Wunmi said Mohbad and Prime Boy had a fight. My lord, you agree with me that it is not possible for Prime Boy and Mohbad to have a fight in a public space where one or two eyewitnesses will not be there or will not see it. That was a strong allegation, my lord. Since she said there was a fight, okay, prove that there was a fight. She has been unable to prove that. That aside, my lord, while they were on their way going back home, one of the people who was sitting in the car with them made us to understand that the wife of the deceased threatened to end his career. As if that wasn't enough, after that threat, my lord, Mohbad died. My lord, what are we to make out of this? He threatened to end his career. And shortly after that threat, he was unalive. So my lord, with all these few evidences, shows that this young woman is not innocent. My lord, I want to give the mic to my learned colleague here to carry on.
My lord, my learned colleague has been able to sustain something that my client is not innocent. And according to my understanding of English, the opposite of innocent is guilty. I want to argue further that my client here is not guilty, because it has not been proven by this honorable court of law that my client here is guilty of anything. We are accusing a young woman, a law-abiding woman, of unaliving her husband. Why? Without evidence, my lord. I want to prove to this court of law that anything that you are bringing to this court must be evidenced, backed up. You must bring forth an evidence to be able to accuse anyone of being guilty of any charge against them. My learned colleague has not been able to provide any evidence aside from essays that may or may not be right. We know we must not be putting someone through all these things because of the fact that they are just
Objection, Mr. Wells. Objection.
Call me a lawyer
Objection.
at this court of law.
Okay, barrister. Barrister. Okay.
Sustain.
Okay, objection. Thank you, my lord, for permitting me to speak further. My colleague says there is no evidences to back up everything we are saying. My lord, with due respect, if you remember what I said earlier, that if you can permit me, this honorable court can permit me to play some of the videos and some of the voice notes that was being housed by the late wife, the late singer's wife, to the point that he threatened the father-in-law, saying if anything should happen to her son, happen to her mother, the man is going to die. And that is a very hard word to use for somebody, my lord. We have all those videos. We have all the VN. If you this court can permit us, we're going to play all of them. We have them. Those are we have those backing up as evidences to prove our innocence of what happens to late RI0US Aloba.
Going forward, the comments.
So if my colleagues...
Go to see, hold on please. Going forward, the commenters are the commenters as an accord is the judge in this case. Please, do you want her to play this evidence she wants to proffer? Please let us see it in this comment section within the next 10 seconds.
Yes, we want to hear it.
Yes, please.
Okay. We will play some of them, my lord.
Go on. I think everybody wants to listen.
Furthermore, okay. And furthermore, my lord, there is one. That is the brother to the late singer father that said his wife even said, what? So I will take my time, my lord. I want you to give me the permission to take my time to play to search and bring my evidences on some of those VN and the videos that was being shown before, my lord. I rest my case.
All right, being at that, you can go on to search for that. We have Precious Prince here, and she has not been speaking. I don't know if she has one or two things to put in, or she is on my side as a fake lawyer that is on for Wunmi in this honorable court of law. Do you want to side me, or you want to be with the other team? I think I'm alone, and I don't want to be alone.